welcome to Jasper's Cooking. When I was growing up in England a long time ago, the country really was not known for its culinary expertise. You go to London today, frankly you go anywhere in England today, and the food's amazing from all around the world, including Indian food. Amazing modern Indian food happening all around the country. But even back in the 1980s and the 1990s, England was always famous for one thing. What is it, Mukesh?
English wine?
Not English wine, the full English breakfast. In fact, English wine is getting a lot better, especially the white stuff. Even the French are buying up vineyards down in Kent in the southeast of England. Anyway, today we're going to cook you classic comfort food, full English breakfast, bacon, sausage, fried eggs, fried tomatoes. You can add your own toast or baked beans or mushrooms or whatever else you like. Let's do the basics, really basic stuff, but sometimes people don't even kind of really know what basics are, so they're too scared to do it because they're too scared to ask. Okay, Mukesh? Right, part one, really simple. We're going to do the whole thing in a large pan. Okay, let's get that. Let's get that heating up. Okay, you want to come over here and if you look at the ingredients here, Mukesh. Some good sausages, streaky bacon, eggs obviously, tomato and some butter. Okay. So while the pan's heating, you want to take a decent knob of butter, something like this, and just let that start to melt in your pan, bit by bit. Okay. So that'll start to melt away there. Make sure when you're cooking all of this, it's really simple to do, but it's a good test of your cooking skills because you want it to brown up, but you don't want it to burn. And you don't want the bacon fat and the pork fat from the sausages to kind of overwhelm stuff. So we'll be turning that down in a second. Right. And critically here with your sausages, this is really important. Make sure that you prick them on both sides like this. Yeah? We'll just do 2 or 3 sausages today. You can do as many as you like. We're just going to cook for basically one portion today, but obviously you can keep going. So those are nice and pricked. Okay. Then our tomato, really simple. Just cut it down a little like that. Okay. And we'll pop that in. Sometimes you can kind of sprinkle a tiny bit of salt on it, just to sort of bring out the flavour, or you can do that afterwards. Okay. So butter in here. Just swirl that around a bit, like this. Get it all around the pan, like that. Now you want to let that guy heat up until the butter starts to sizzle. Get it to a good heat. What you don't want to do with any cooking like this, especially an English breakfast, is have your bacon or your sausage or your tomatoes just kind of sitting there in the fat. So let it get hot, but not too hot. Okay. I might add a tiny bit more butter to that. It's a very big pan here. And the other tip with this sometimes is if you see the butter browning and burning, other than turning the heat down, what you can do is you can basically add a little bit more butter to swirl it around. Okay, so that's coming on nicely. We're going to take our sausages, put them in like this. Now what you should do with your sausages so they don't stick, you come over here, Mukesh, is just cover them in fat like that, in butter, so they don't stick. So those guys are sizzling away. Then we're going to take some rashers of bacon. Do as many of these as you like. Just put them in. Separate them out nicely like this. I always like streaky bacon just because it's got a little bit more fat on it and it crisps up a little bit better. There's a huge debate about whether you should have very crispy bacon or you should have, you know, slightly less cooked bacon. So listen to that sizzle away. Coming on that sizzle, Mukesh, is the whole point of the English breakfast. This is the sizzle of your Sunday morning. This is if, you know, you wake up feeling like you've had a big night, etc. And this is what you want to really comfort yourself. Whoop, look, here. When's the dog? Okay, so here Next thing, add your 2 tomatoes, placed out like this. Just rub them in the pan like that. So now, what you do here is take a wooden spoon or a spatula or something like that, and while you're cooking, just kind of keep moving this around so they don't burn too much. So stand by for a few minutes while we get this all up to a nice, beautifully cooked, sizzly, crispy condition. And we'll finish off with our eggs, we'll plate it all up, and then you're going to sit down and have the ultimate English culinary icon, the full English breakfast. Stand by. So we're back. Look, these are browned up nicely, coming out of this Mukesh. I put a tiny bit more butter in the pan. Then you're going to make space for your eggs. Okay. And with your eggs, what I like to do is just a simple tip here. When you crack them on the side, then turn them up before you turn them out. So break the side like this, hold them up, then turn out like that. Okay. There's one. Same deal. Crack the side, turn it up, and turn it out. There's 2. So those guys, hello Quince. You can pretty much guarantee that Quince, who's an English dog, would smell out the English breakfast, but it's not for you, Quince.
Looks really good.
Coming on nicely?
Yep.
Good. You good, Susan?
Yep.
Okay, let's just add a bit of pepper here on your eggs. Okay. Bacon's pretty salty, so I really wouldn't worry too much about putting sauce on bacon, but you can do it later. And obviously, once you've done this, you can add everything you want, your ketchups, your HP sauce, your whatever sauces you want, your chili. Okay, so that's pretty much done. Heat off. Okay. Now, really simple here when you plate up. Take the pan over to one side like this. Pop it down on that. And then what I like to do is I like to just kind of take my bacon here and just drain it off on a bit of kitchen paper. Probably same with the sausages like that. Okay. So you're just basically taking a bit of the fat off here. Okay, so then having done that, let's ease the eggs out nicely. There's one guy onto the plate. Look how beautiful that is. This is a really greedy person's breakfast, but that's the whole point of English breakfast is you shouldn't be doing it if you're slimming. There's your second guy. Just take one of these tomatoes, pop it over here. Okay. And then let's put one sausage, 2 sausage, and a little handful of bacon here. Maybe a tiny bit more. There, look, you have it. So that is the simplest thing on earth, but look how yummy that is. I mean, you know, I know we're all on diets and we all eat healthily and we should only have curd for breakfast. But every so often, treat yourself to one of those. You can obviously have veg sausages. If you want to do it entirely veg, just put mushrooms in there, skip everything else out. And that, my friends, and my wonderful audience, is Jasper's cooking full English breakfast. And I'm thinking, it's making me so nostalgic and homesick that I've got a big surprise for you next week. Because next week I'm going to be cooking, not here, but somewhere else. Tune in next time to Jasper's cooking. Thank you, Mukesh. Thank you, everybody. Mwah! Okay, so another innovation here. We've got Mukesh eating his full English breakfast. Kashmiri guy eats English breakfast. Let's look for the reaction.
I feel like I'm already sitting in London.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Mukesh.